Motion received, file.
Motion received and filed, Commissioner Curry.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wiseman. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is an intercategory amendment, November through May 24. That's page 8 through 10 of your packet.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Commissioner Schultz.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Riddle. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, additional payroll request, FY25 budget, that's page 11 in your packet. This is budget, new budget related.
Yes.
We open for discussion?
Sure, absolutely.
For those that not familiar with what we did, as we went through the budget, there were some individual requests for raises above and beyond the 3.2% COLA that we had factored into the budget for all employees. This is a list of those requests because we basically tabled them to consider after the fact. And at the bottom, there's actually a couple of, there were some new positions we approved, but there's a couple of other raises above the 3.2 that were approved within their budget. So we've got the ones on the top part, which were not approved, a couple at the bottom. As we look through, now we've got the budget done completely. It is very clear that revenue does not equal the expenses. We are having to dig into fund balance, as y'all will see when you get your copy, to balance the budget. So it's a deficit, but it's handleable through the fund balance. But what's important is, it is a deficit budget. The survey, which everybody tended to make their case about, was never intended to be a salary administration Bible. It was meant as a reference point that you would compare to maybe every 5 years and just see how you would do. But a lot of people used it then this year again to try to get more than 3. My opinion, I think approving one over another, approving a few versus the many is a mistake. I think we're gonna cause more turmoil than it's worth, and besides the fact, we're already in a deficit situation, having to dig into the fund balances. So my recommendation is that we do not approve any of the requests above and beyond the 3.2. And in fact, the 2 that were included at the bottom, which were folded into a budget that was approved, that they be taken back to the 3.2. And keep it standard across all employees. That's my recommendation, or that's my motion.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Elder, second by Commissioner Schultz. Any further comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. But I guess I should ask this before we voted, but the 2 positions stand.
Thank
I did not address the ones we approved as new additions because they were justified not on salary, but on need. Now, somebody else could take exception to that. I didn't include those.
Number 5, revision budget amendment policies 12 through 13. I'll let the finance director speak to that.
In looking at the code and in a talking point through our prior year audit, the way we've been handling intercategory budget amendments for salary lines, it's not necessarily, we've kind of been doing it right on the school side. Everything, you know, if you increase a salary line or decrease, it goes to the school board for approval, but not necessarily to finance and county commission. It's always been unsaid since I've been around, do not add to a salary line that will increase the next year's budget. But if we had an issue where, say, the sheriff's department, say his part-time line was under, his overtime line was up, or vice versa, I was always able to move money from one to the other just to take care of that. but not increase the budget and not increase next year's budget. The way the TCA code states, in order for us to, be able to continue like we have been, we should have passed a resolution back prior to 1991, December 91. So I was unaware of this. Audit never said anything or caught it, until this last year. So the TCA code states that, the finance committee should appoint a committee to review those salary lines, not benefit lines, but the salary lines. You know, the highway commission has always done theirs. School board has done the schools, and then, you know, the mayor, we've done ours, but there, it states we need to have a committee approve it, like the finance committee. So I changed the parts in red, intercategory budget amendments that affect payroll salary lines 100 through 199 shall be approved by finance committee, provided the amendment will not subsequently affect the following fiscal year budget in a negative impact, and will be reported to the following county commission, which that's how it states in the TCA code. Finance committee would be the obvious committee to see that. You approve or you make a motion to recommend to receive and file the other intercategory amendments. Where this becomes an issue is like the month of June, and you have summer school or things like that, and we're cleaning up, because you can't go over it in a salary line. But it's hard to get some of those unknowns taken care of. And it have to go to a meeting. Before, Luke and I could handle the highway, and then the highway commission would see it after. You and I would handle county, and Dr. Holman and Jenny, or Dr. Holman and I would do the school, and it would go to the school. But, so anyhow, to go along with the code, we need to adopt this policy. And we'll just have to work a little bit harder. Or make some good guesses. And it may mean that I need to budget $40,000 extra in the sheriff's budget. It doesn't mean that he's gonna go over his budget. It just means I have a little bit of padding and I won't get written up, but then that money will go back into fund balance.
Well, what if it, moves line out, you look at me. I know it's happening, I know it happens a lot.
What do you
That's
mean?
what she's talking about.
Moving the money, I mean, say,
So I can't, say sergeants to, or move from medical insurance to sergeants or that kind of thing. If it affects the series, the payroll series, the 100 series, which is the gross pay, it has to be approved by, you know, finance committee.
You can't move major line to major line anyway. That's gotta happen.
Well, that's just the category. That's like the 54110. This is just the expense object. And we've done that in the past, you know, the jail budget, you never know, inmate expenses, it's a little bit easier now that we're contracting medical help, but you know, you may have an incident that, may cause you to have to spend a good amount of money. And like I say, you know, unless it's an emergency, they're not gonna get a purchase order after, you know, about May 23rd or so.
Well, basically what this is to get in compliance with TCA and not get a fine in other.
Yeah, it's a hoop to jump through. I guess there's some places where you can't trust your finance people.
Motion approved by Mr. McCurry, second by Mr. Riddle. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
You don't trust us?
I do. Okay, number 6. Franklin County proposed budget. We'll start with A, the appropriation resolution. That's 1420.
So this is a summary of what is in the budget currently, what's been approved. I did update the county general budget. I needed to move some of the, TDEP money and ARPA money into the new fiscal year. Nothing else has changed other than that. And then you have your tax levy resolution that funds this summarized budget. You do have the detailed budget. We do have to send the detailed budget with these resolutions through county commission. They have to be filed, not a lot of paper, but, it does have to be filed. There was one thing that, we did the other night that got by real quick that we wanted to bring to people's attention. And that's on the school budget. We increased their property tax allocation by that 308,000 that they were requesting. And we really didn't talk about that the other night, and I don't want you to say that I didn't say something.
Well, I'm gonna take the blame for that, because I watched hearing in the honorable mayor's absence. I thought the 308,000 was already out. That's what I understood. I understood in error. Totally my fault. So I didn't look at it to double check it. But I believe it was our intent to maintain the maintenance effort as it is currently, as it is this previous year on property tax. And so that was my fault. And so I proposed, as I thought, that we change that back to the maintenance of effort property tax number from this previous budget, and move that 308,000 to the county general fund balance. Why that is, the fund balance in county general is the only discretionary fund this commission has to apply to anything we want to apply to. Somewhere else, we have to go through, other processes. And we're gonna possibly need that money to some things that we see coming down the road. So anyway, I think we modify their budget to take the 308,000 tax back down to the maintenance of effort figure and move that money then to the county general fund.
So that would amend the tax levy resolution
Yes, it would.
to reflect that. And the graph for that is on page 14. It's got the property tax estimate.
So I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Elwood, second by Commissioner Schultz. Any further discussion? Question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
So you need approval on these,
You need to approve on each one of them.
you need each one of them?
Yes, but I need to also bring up subject, and I almost forgot 2 minutes later. Caitlin Isabel had emailed me, and she said that she just received her annual invoice for her contract for her software, and the difference had increased $952. And basically, local government just left it off, and they apologized. So she wanted to know if we could add that $952 to her budget to cover her software contract. So I told her I would ask.
What are we gonna say? You can't have the contract?
Well, it is her operating software,
Yeah.
so.
I think that's in the bucket with non-discretionary.
Right, but I have to get you guys to approve it.
So I amend
just
my
wouldn't put it in
motion,
there.
I amend it to have the school budget change to add the $952 to the appropriate line item
Then you can continue trusting your finance people.
as usual.
Okay, let's see. I have a motion, amended motion,
Second.
second by Commissioner Riddle, so to word that. So the motion
To
is to
amend,
approve the appropriations resolution with reduction of the maintenance of effort by 308,000 that was in there the other night, and also to include the $952 addition to the clerk and master's office for their operating software. Don't ask me to say that again.
You done good.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion or any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. B is the tax levy resolution, that's page 21 and 22. Of your,
That's what you just approved.
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
all of them.
Yeah. So 7 is the handout budget resolution, or amendments in the back of your packet. The first one stapled is county. It has other funds as well, but basically this is just a cleanup amendment. And you're putting 4 million back into fund balance, and I know that sounds like a lot, but basically this is reducing a lot of, like the money we had budgeted for the animal control building and for TDAG and for, there's a lot of large expenditures that came out of fund balance that was from American Recovery Act funds, kind of like spending your ESSER money that we didn't get spent this year that we're putting back into. And we did have some revenues increase, clerk and master, for some building permits, contract prisoner board, opioid abatement funds. All I can think of.
Motion approved.
Motion approved, Mr. McCurry. Second by Dr. Holmes. Any further discussion? Like to say aye. Do we need to do number 8, right?
Yeah, that's
Resolution
good.
handout school GP.
And these are just cleanups, trying to align some budgets. And then the summer learning camps, you guys approved that last month, but it went back through E-Plan, so just to cover myself, I'm sending those back through, but those haven't changed at all, those are all passed through.
Motion approved by Commissioner Riddle. Second by Mr. McCurry. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Carried. Finance Director, other business.
There's a highway amendment that's on one page that we need to get through.
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Commissioner Riddle.
Second.
Second by Mr. McCurry. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. What was that? Anybody have any? Oh, I'm sorry.
I will publish what you guys have approved tonight, we'll get that on the website this week, and we'll get it next week's paper. And have the proposed budget at the June 17th meeting. We generally have a county commission budget workshop sometime between then, which we don't have, but like next week, I think.
We can poll the commission.
Let's see, when it's good.
We can do that. If that's the will of the commission, we can set the meeting. I know, I think this is a pretty solid budget. I don't know, but I'll see what their wishes.
Yeah, I'd like to set aside, just in case, I'd like to set aside a time where I can be up here at night, and if anybody wants to come by and look at it, any questions or anything.
I'm not too sure that might be the best way to do it with the commission. Or not. I mean,
I can't have the,
I know.
can't put
Only 16 meetings then.
Yeah.
I'll send out the email.
please don't make me do that.
I make a motion, we'll adjourn.
Adjourn. Carried. Wait a minute, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any public comment? We are adjourned.